back to JumpStart IT Academy YouTube channel. Salute to you, future tech winners. I'm your host, Chris. We're going to get right into it today. We're going to be looking at Trump's tariffs and its impact on the tech industry. Let's go ahead and take a look at this video. I believe it's from NBC.
You know, speaking of future, Brian, can we talk about tariffs for a minute? Because in less than 2 weeks from now, President-elect Donald Trump takes office, and a lot of people are wondering how those potential tariffs that he's promised or threatened, however you look at it, will impact the tech industry specifically. And what are people there saying?
Yeah, well, especially when you're talking about tech that needs to be imported into the United States. So certainly from a policy perspective, tariffs have definitely loomed over this show. We had the chance to speak with the Consumer Technology Association CEO, which again, that's the organization that puts up CES. He was saying that it could potentially be a Great Depression. Those are the words that he used if those tariffs do come into effect. Again, 60% on China, 10 to 20% blanket on every other country effectively. But again, whether or not that actually happens on day one is an uncertainty, with the president-elect saying that he could use it as a negotiating tactic. But again, what we've seen in terms of talking with even business owners and hearing from them and saying, you know what, that could really add costs that might ultimately get passed on to the consumer. It's a big deal, guys.
Thanks for watching.
So we can clearly see right there that these tariffs, now this was put out 3 weeks ago, but nonetheless, I thought it was important because he was talking to the companies that were already there at the Consumer Electronics event, our conference. And basically they said that that could add cost to their production or operations, which in turn would get passed on to the consumers. And this ties into some of the articles that I've been reading here. Like, take a look at this one right here. Trump's tariffs could raise prices on technologies like laptops, smartphones, and AI. It says with Apple, Microsoft, Tesla reporting December quarter earnings this week, investors will want to know how Trump's threats on tariffs on the top U.S. trading partners could affect their businesses. 60% tariff on China could cause laptop and tablet prices to increase by 45%, video game consoles as much as 40%, and smartphones by as much as 26%, according to the report. Trump is expecting to reveal more details on which specific tariffs will be placed on imports from China, Canada, and Mexico on Saturday. And we know, it's Monday right now. So this is happening, and it looks like that's some of the concerns. Laptop, smartphones. So if you're in the market to buy a smartphone or a laptop, if you can wait, I would suggest that you would just wait. If not, you're going to incur some of the impact of these tariffs are having on the potential volatility of the prices that is going to be tagged onto the product and the production, which is going to be handed on to the consumer. So it says electronics is impacted. Foxconn, the world's biggest electronic contract manufacturer, Foxconn, is building a giant artificial intelligence server factory in collaboration with NVIDIA. In Mexico, it plans to start production early in 2025, making a liquid-cooled server containing NVIDIA's new and powerful Blackwell family of AI chips. So it's going to basically increase the price of chips and different types of components, because we don't manufacture a lot of components in America. So therefore, those tariffs would impact American companies who are essentially going to have to import these products that are manufactured elsewhere, and those companies will be manufacturing the product and then exporting it into America and having to pay those tariffs. They're not just going to eat those costs; they're going to pass those on. Lenovo, Chinese computer maker Lenovo, produces servers and other data center products at a massive site in Monterrey, Mexico, which it expanded in 2021. It said at the time all of its data center products for the North American market are manufactured in Monterrey. So they're being manufactured in Mexico, and Trump is talking about 25% tariffs on Mexico. So that would impact Lenovo. LG Electronics, South Korea's LG Electronics, makes TVs, home appliances, and EV parts at its Mexican sites. It said in November 26 that it is reviewing possibilities, including changes in trade policies. Samsung Electronics. Here's an interesting story. I was stationed in Korea for a year, and I was invited to a local family's house, and it was a very wealthy woman who owned an oil company. And when we got out of the car, she pointed at the house that was directly across the street, and she said, "That's Samsung's house." So I was right next door eating food at a neighbor's house of Samsung. Just a little snippet, just something I thought was interesting. Okay, South Korea Samsung Electronics makes TVs and home appliances in Mexico and exports them into the U.S. So it looks like electronic products, even some of the home appliances may be impacted. As we know, technology is pervasive and has touched just about everything that deals with anything digital or anything electronic. So we have to be aware that these tariffs may impact us as normal regular consumers, not just economically. So I haven't even looked at it from a job perspective, because I think it's going to take time for it to have that level of impact. But nonetheless, when you're talking about products and consumers, consuming products, that's going to have an immediate impact, mainly because we don't know how long these tariffs are going to last. So companies usually have to be agile and adjust. So we don't know how they're going to approach this, depending on the longevity of the tariffs. Because from my understanding, Mexico today has negotiated with Donald Trump, President Donald Trump, and they have agreed to make some form of agreement that has delayed the tariffs on Mexico for I believe a month. And here's another article. Economists warn that Trump's tariffs could cause tech prices to rocket. Study says laptop prices could increase by 45%, monitors by 50%, and other produced goods can also be impacted. So what I would say is this, that if you don't have any electronics, computers, laptops, even household appliances that you need to buy immediately, don't do it. It may not be worth it right now, because these tariffs are going to trickle down to the consumer, because the companies just aren't going to eat those additional costs. Anytime costs expands, companies have to adjust those costs and add that and bake that into the cost of production, and then pass that on to the overall cost of the product or the service that's being passed on to the consumer. So I would say, keep your head on a swivel. And if you're in the market to buy something electronic right now, I would just hold off on it and just kind of like wait until the oceans, the ocean waves and the sea settle, and when they become more serene, then you can go ahead and put your ship out there to go get whatever it is that you need to buy, whether it be a laptop or a monitor or a smartphone or something to that effect. So at this point, the waves are rocky and the environment is volatile. So kind of get a lay of the land and get an understanding of what could possibly happen. But at this point, I would just put your seatbelt on and sit tight and see what happens with these tariffs, see how Trump negotiates with these different countries. I know Mexico, like I had mentioned, has a delay of about a month. Canada, I don't believe there's any delay. I believe that Canada put retaliatory tariffs, which I would have to analyze to figure out what impact that would have coming from Canada. But nonetheless, whatever is produced in Canada, it will have an impact. I know with China, it's going to impact car manufacturers. I know for that much. And I know it's going to impact AI. So those are the things that I know. But also another article that I read, it's impacting venture capitalists. So it's going to impact how much money venture capitalists put into the economy. So let's go ahead and keep that in mind as we move forward. And I want to thank you for watching this video. Salute to you, future tech renters. And if you like what you heard, go ahead and hit the like button. If you like the content, go ahead and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you enjoy this content, and then you can be informed about videos that are going to be coming in the future. And I want to thank you for taking this time to watch, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.